I just want to make a few points before you start on the addition worksheet. The first point, and the most important one, is this. Don't use your calculator. The whole idea of the worksheets is for you to exercise your brain, for you to build up your mental math abilities. Using the calculator isn't going to help you. You can use your fingers, you can count on your fingers, you can write the answers out and work the answers out, but don't use your calculators. You're not going to learn anything from that. Okay, a couple of things about the worksheets themselves. In some places, I've given you the answers to the problems. So, in other words, the worksheet starts out with 2 plus 3 equals 5. The only reason for putting that in, for giving you the answer, is because I want you to realize, yeah, all these are about addition. And then after that, I gave you 2x plus 3x equals 5x. And the point I want to make here is that all you're doing is, in this case, counting x's. It's like saying 2 apples plus 3 apples equals 5 apples. It's not going to matter what the numbers are counting as long as they're always counting the same thing. So I put in the x's to show you that if you're counting 2 x's, I put in the answer to show you that if you're counting 2 x's plus 3 x's, you're going to get 5 x's. Okay, so anytime where I give you an answer in the middle of the worksheet, take a look and see what the point is that I'm trying to get you to understand. Okay? All right. Couple more things. So, first of all, let's talk about ways to make life a little easier as you're doing this. Let's see, what did I want to tell you? Yeah, let's see you've got a problem like, I should add some x's, 2x plus 7x. Okay, so you can take this and you can say, okay, I've got 2x and I want to add 7 more. So you could count up 7 more from 2. But if you wanted to, you could use the commutative property, which basically just means numbers can swap their places, and turn this into 7x plus 2x. And then counting up 2 more from 7 is pretty easy. You're just thinking, I've got 7, then 8 and 9, and you get 9x. So the basic idea is look at the problem before you begin, see if you can rearrange the numbers in any way, and see if that makes it easier for you. This might work even if you have 3 numbers. Let's say you've got 9 plus 7 plus 1. This might be 9x plus 7x plus 1x, or 9a plus 7a plus 1a. I just want to deal with the number part. Well, you could take the 9 and add 7 to it, but it's a lot easier to take 9 and add 1. So mentally, I'm going to think of this problem as being 9 plus 1 plus 7. You don't have to rewrite it. You can just look at it and say, okay, I'm going to add these 2 numbers, the 9 and the 1. And 9 and 1 is 10. And then I'll add the 7. 10 and 7 is going to give me 17. Okay, so see if you can rearrange numbers and see if that makes things easier. Let's talk about big numbers for a second. So let's say you've got something like 243 plus 415. Okay, before you panic, take a look at the numbers. The numbers in the hundreds columns, I've got a 2 and a 4, and that's pretty easy to add. The 4 and the 1 in the tens column is pretty easy to add. And the 3 and the 5 is going to be pretty easy to add. So all I'm doing is thinking 2 plus 4, or 4 plus 2, if you want. That's a 6. In the tens column, I've got a 4 and a 1. Well, 4 plus 1 more is 5. And in the ones column, I've got a 3 and a 5, or 5 plus 3, whichever way you want to think of it. And that's 8. Okay, now this was nice. There was no carrying. There was no renaming involved. Let's take a look at a problem that has some renaming. So now we've got 382 plus 145. Well, adding the hundreds will be easy. That's just a 300 and a 100. Adding the tens, I'm going to add an 8 and a 12 and a 4, and that's going to give me 12. So I have to remember that I'm going to be carrying a 1 over into the hundreds column. There's going to be some renaming involved. And in the ones column, it's just 2 plus 5. So to add these together, I've got the 300 plus the 100 is 400. But remember, I was carrying another 1 over from that tens column. So instead of 400, it'll be 500. When I get to the tens column, I've got 8 plus 4 is 12. I've already taken care of the 1 part of the 12, so I just have to write the 2 down. And then the 2 plus 5, well, 2 plus 5 or 5 plus 2 is 7. And I get my answer. Now, it takes a lot longer for me to explain this than for your brain just to go through and do it. It's not really a long process at all. And you end up doing it mentally. You don't have to write anything down. You don't have to, well, you can write things down if it helps you, but you certainly don't need a calculator for this. Okay, so as you go on with these problems, think about tricks like this. Think about other tricks you can make up for yourself that will allow you to do things faster and basically just work through problems mentally instead of having to resort to a calculator. Okay, so that's it. I guess you should get started on the worksheet. Take care.